The Rock will be the Grand Marshal for the Daytona 500. F1 is trying to get a Chicago street horse race, and Toyota wants more horsepower. What up, y'all? Welcome back to another Rolling Bomb. I'm your host, Zach Moore. We're not in my usual setup. It's my new setup for now. We got some construction going on in the Moyer compound, so that's going on right now. But I decided to bring you another episode. I do want to mention that I guess the Rock X 24 just ended a couple hours ago. I know Team Penske won their first Rock X 24 since like 1969, if I'm correct. So that's huge. This episode will be a little bit different. I'm right now wearing a Columbia sweatshirt. You'll see me in a regular gray sweatshirt, and you'll see me in a Broncos sweatshirt. There's just been lots of news coming out, so I've just been like mashing parts of other episodes that I was planning to post for this episode. So looking forward to getting into it, so let's roll into it. This was just announced not too long ago. The Rock will be the Grand Marshal for the Great American Race. This is massive stuff right here. The fact you're going to get one of the most recognizable, one of the biggest stars in the world to be the Grand Marshal for your biggest race is huge. It was weird. They had ads and commercials going on for this race, and they always showed The Rock for some reason. It was kind of weird. It didn't really make sense why they were doing that, but now it does. I bet you this has a lot of this has to do with the whole UFL, the United Football League. As The Rock has a joint partnership, they merged the XFL and the USFL together, so it's probably the next way to help promote that. But to have The Rock as a Grand Marshal is huge. He has done the Grand Marshal before, but it was for Texas like in 2002 or 3. But this will be great. I think there'll be a lot of eyeballs just to see him. We got Pitbull and The Rock, and who knows, we could be seeing a lot more big celebrities showing up for this race. I'm excited. The season's upon us. Next week's the Clash, and 2 weeks after that, it'll be the Daytona 500, and then we're into NASCAR season. So all exciting things to look forward to. And also, the Netflix documentary is coming out this week on Wednesday. So it's an exciting time to be a NASCAR fan, that's for sure. Pitbull will be the pre-race performance for the Daytona 500. I'm a fan of this. A lot of fans didn't like it because they thought this was a cheap route because he owns a race team. But personally, I don't see that. He is a very relevant. He's a global superstar. NASCAR has gone more the country route in recent times. And now I see them going after, the global, maybe pop stars, a different genre, hip-hop type genre, right? They're not just going after the country artists, which that's kind of more than NASCAR is, the blue-collar type rap. But I think it's pretty sick. I like it. I'm excited for this. It's a new way for NASCAR, so I like it. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think it's a great fit. It's something new for NASCAR. And, some fans may not like it, but I think NASCAR wants to not just be known as this country type sport, blue collar, even though that's still the heart of their fan base is, but I think they want to appeal to different fans too at the same time. That's all I got to say. That's my opinion, but I think I'm looking forward to it. Next topic, I already really talked about NASCAR things, but this does have a little thing to do with NASCAR. It looks like F1 is planning to hopefully have a street course race in the near future. I do kind of find this funny right after NASCAR just had their street course race in Chicago. They want to have their own. I'm not sure if this was already planned. I do find it interesting, though. And the weird thing is, this would make it 4 races in the U.S. And again, the U.S. is a massive market. It's one of the biggest countries in the world. It has the biggest, majority of people there. Billions of people live there. Massive sports area. NASCAR is still number one when it comes to motorsports in the U.S., and they probably want to capitalize on that. And they want to take over that. I just feel like NASCAR, has done a lot to try to copy F1. But now, also, I feel like F1 is trying to do things that copy NASCAR or steal the spotlight. NASCAR did the burnouts in Nashville a couple years ago, shut down the block, did that, and then F1 did it for their Las Vegas hype to hype up the Grand Prix in Las Vegas. And then NASCAR comes out with a Netflix documentary, which, I felt that was more them trying to copy F1 because they want to have that same big time, docu-series about their sport. Well, then right after they launched their full trailer, F1 announced their Drive to Survive trailer too. And it's just really, really interesting. It's very weird to me. NASCAR has a Chicago race, and now F1 wants to have a Chicago race. I'm not really sure if this is really them trying to go and after NASCAR. I'm surprised that F1 would even go after Chicago. Yeah, Chicago's a big city, but why go after like New York or something, or Boston? Like they have hit all the big cities in the U.S. Las Vegas, they have a race in Texas, Miami, but New York they don't have yet. That's all I'm really gonna say. I'm not really trying to act like I know what I'm talking about here or what the whole situation is. But I do kind of find it funny that after NASCAR had a big successful Chicago race, now F1 wants to have their own Chicago race there. Legacy Motor Club makes some more big changes. They signed Trevor Bayne to be a driver optimization leader and Corey Hine to be a simulator reserve driver. Legacy Motor Club has been making all these different changes. They started off brought in a new manufacturer, Toyota. They just signed some big sponsorship deal with Dollar Tree and Fanning Donner. Carlisle's going to be back. Jimmy Johnson's going to be running 9 races. They're a tier 1 team when it comes to Toyota. I believe when it comes to Trevor Bayne, he'll be kind of working with the drivers on setups, pretty much everything that has to do with driving the car. And then Corey Hine will be a reserve driver for them, simulator work, just being around that team a lot. I really do believe that Corey Hine is a future Cup Series driver. He's very talented. You can already see he's a mature guy. Yes, he didn't handle himself well during Phoenix in that race, but there's nothing, you can't really blame him for that. He pretty much got taken out from winning the championship by someone else's wrongdoing. Right? And then when it comes to Trevor Bayne, it definitely stinks. It seems like he just hasn't found an opportunity in JGR to really run any races. 1, 2, 3 races. Sponsorship doesn't seem like it's really coming in. It stinks. I do think he's a more deserving driver than some of those guys at JGR are signing, but because his sponsorship's really important in racing, you need that, and he just doesn't have that. But I think this is going to be a great opportunity to really help some of their young guys still be around the sport when it comes to just maybe as a driver aspect, give us insight. So this is all great for Legacy Motor Club. I think it's going to be exciting to see what they can do this year with all the new changes. Last topic I want to get into, it's about the short track package. They made these changes. Personally, I don't know how big of a change they're going to make. We'll see in their first race at Phoenix how big of a change it'll make. But the looming thing out there is that we need more horsepower. And so far, we've heard from Roush Yates that we can bump it up to 750. Also, Bob Fisher from ECR Engines Chevrolet has said it's doable to 750. Well, now we also heard from David Wilson, who is the CEO of TDR, Toyota Racing Development. This is what he had to say about adding horsepower. We'd like to see better racing. In the path to that, we're open to about anything. Toyota's Wilson said if the consensus is we need to put the power back up, then we're on board. From these comments is that pretty much all 3 manufacturers are willing to add horsepower. Someone from those respective manufacturers has come out and said it is feasible and doable. And right now it sounds like 750 horsepower is the likelihood. Tyrek has said that he doesn't even think that 750 mark, 800 horsepower mark will even make a difference, because they did like a simulator thing. They did a bunch of difference. He thinks you're going to be closer to 1,000 horsepower. Now, this article was from Jeff Gluck from The Athletic, and he, during this article, talked to Brandon Thompson, who is the VP of Vehicle Design for NASCAR. And he talked about it's a lot more than just adding horsepower. Everything has been developed and optimized to where it is right now. Thompson said, I got this mug. This is optimized to carry 12 ounces of coffee. Well, I want you to put 20 ounces of coffee in it. But you don't get to change anything. Go ahead, I'll wait. That's what you're being told. So you are now either reinventing physics or you're just causing a lot of work. You're going to have to change that mug to hold 20 ounces. So for anybody to say there's a simple fix, you've distilled the problem down and skipped all the actual details. It'll probably take another iteration or 2 to really get back to the racing we saw with the old Gen 6 car at some of those tracks, John said. So what I get from those comments that they're going to have to do a whole overhaul of this car. Pretty much. This whole car is built around whatever horsepower they have. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly true. I'm not trying to act like I don't want to sound stupid, act like I know what I'm talking about. I'm an expert because I'm not. But it just stinks, man. It just, gosh, I feel like NASCAR put themselves on themselves that they developed this car and it didn't work out the first time. And it didn't work out the second time. And now we're, in our third attempt, fourth attempt. And we still don't know if it'll be the missing puzzle piece to making the package in racing better. Because now it seems like the next step, we could hopefully, maybe 750 horsepower could be the next step, and maybe that'll help. But Rock X says it probably wouldn't. The next step after that would be a whole overhaul of this car. And now they're going to go in a whole big mess of all these different changes. It'll probably cost teams money. Which, look, I get sick and tired of this whole saving and cutting back. I don't like that. But that seems like what the direction NASCAR is going. But if it helps make the sport better, it helps bring in new manufacturers, great, and new partners. But right now, I don't seem like it's doing any of that yet. Just want to give you my opinions. Let me know what you think about this whole situation. I feel like we just keep talking about it, guys. It's just an overlap. I keep saying the same things. I keep copying and pasting the same old crap. So hopefully I'm just going to stop, and then we're just going to see what happens after the first short track race, and then I'll probably give you my thoughts on what I think. Thanks for watching, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Let me know what you think of all the news, Twitter, wanting more horsepower, and the fact that you're going to have to do a whole overhaul in this car to pretty much get it. More horsepower. What do you think about F1 trying to get a Chicago Street Course race just after NASCAR did their own? What do you think about the whole Legacy Motor Club news? What do you think of that? How do you think that will pair? How do you think that will help them? But yeah, besides that, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next one, y'all. Goodbye.